What's up, y'all? Oh
What's
my
going
gosh. It's been so
on?
long, Spinny. It's been a
Woo!
solid 2 weeks here. You know what, man?
That's been a wild
Episode
one.
80. I think you know who episode 80 is for. Like, you freaking better.
Our boy CC.
I mean, you can. You can say that. I was gonna shout out
That's
the greatest. I was gonna shout
oh
out.
nah. CC. Chris Carter
CC,
gets it.
we're not
Chris
gonna
Carter
we're not
gets
gonna
it.
shout him out.
All right. We can shout out Jerry World, but
Jerry Rice, we all know the greatest receiver of all time, or number 80. But I'm with Spinny actually. Let's call this the Chris Carter episode. Screw you, Jerry Rice.
yeah,
This is Chris Carter episode.
facts.
Let's
It
go.
is.
Spinny, before we hear from Jack, though, tell us about your volleyball, man. I know your season wrapped up these last couple weeks. Tell us what happened.
Man. You want me to get all Haiti on this pod right now?
I want
No.
to know. The listeners want to know.
The
You had
listeners
playoffs
want to
last
know.
week.
The listeners
What's
know
going
that
on?
last Tuesday, I don't think we've had a pod since then.
No, we have not.
We got an upset over Platteville, 6-3 in the WAC tournament. Really big upset. So that was really fun. And then we played Whitewater, who's ranked 7th in the country, 2 days later. And we lost in 3. But it was 21-22.
7th in the country, huh?
Yeah,
Wow.
7th in the country, 21-22-23 were our 3 scores, the 3 sets. So it was just like
Right there.
It was one of those times where it's like we really played as best we could, and they beat us.
They just
So
out executed you.
Yeah, literally.
What are you
So
gonna
it's
do?
just like, well, all right, we executed our game plan pretty darn good, and they just made a few better plays than us. So Whitewater went on to beat Oshkosh in the WAC
Really? That's
championship.
their
Oshkosh's first loss. Yes.
Wow.
Wild. Oshkosh still got to host. They're still a host, so they're still a top 4 seed, even despite that loss, which is kind of crazy to me. Let's see. So the tournament was announced Monday. We did not make it. It was tough. A little bit of shade at the NCAA tournament. Lots of teams on the East Coast that were 14-10 and got 4th in their conference that are in the tournament right now currently.
What?
So
14-10?
Yeah.
Not even top 3 in the conference?
No. Or they'd be second or third in their conference at 14-10 over us finishing 3rd or 4th in our conference and being 20-10 and having multiple ranked wins.
Multiple ranked wins for you guys, plus also multiple ranked top 10 opponents in your conference, or the teams are ahead of you. So
yeah. All 3 teams that made it ahead of us are ranked in the top 25 and have been the whole season. So only 3 WAC teams made it. So that was made it sting a touch less. There was some teams, I'm not gonna roast anybody because I do like a lot of these coaches on these teams, but there is some teams in our region that made it that we beat this season as well. So that
doesn't make sense.
A little tough. So yeah, so we're not in. We were close. Makes us hungrier. Next year's gonna be a wild one. So hopefully we can improve.
Yes, sir. We'd love to hear. Hey, 20 wins. That's quite the season.
20 wins.
Multiple ranked wins.
Yeah.
I mean,
22 wins.
22
wins in 2021 with an easy, very lax bunch of not good teams on the schedule. Really up their schedule this year in the top 30 in strength of schedule in the country and still finished 20-10. So 20-win season, really not something we expected given the newness and everything. So yeah, not something really fun to accomplish. Just wish we had it a touch better.
Right. Well, something to be proud for, man. Now you got to get to that recruiting grind. So good luck with that. All right, let's get this Chris Carter episode
rolling. Let's hear from Jack.
Spinny, man, I think it's only right that we start the Chris Carter episode off talking some NFL, man. We have yet to give out power rankings at any point in this NFL season, so I think we should do that right now.
Yeah, I'm
Right?
interested. We actually didn't discuss this before, so I'm
We did
interested to
not.
see your exact power rankings here because this was hard for me,
It was
especially in
very
like
hard.
the 5 through 9 range.
That
It
was the
gets
most
wacky.
impossible thing.
It gets wacky in there.
Well, that's actually a good point because what I wanted to bring up was I feel like there's almost 3 tiers within this top 10.
Yep,
Okay.
agreed.
So I'm gonna give you my first tier, which
Okay.
actually comprises all of the top 5 teams on my ranking.
Ooh,
So that's tier one is my top 5 teams. I have Eagles number one on the power rankings. They are 8-1, best record in the NFL. I mean, it speaks for itself. They have the best record. They should be number one. That's how usually that works. Number two, the Chiefs. They have Patrick Mahomes on their team, so I gave them the edge over everyone else in this category. Number three, this is where we might get a little different. I feel like you maybe have those two as well. Number three, I had the Niners back up there.
ooh, that
Absolute,
is hot.
absolute throttling of the Jaguars in Jacksonville this week, 37-3. Absolutely beat them down. As we know, their losses only came with key injuries on their team, including left tackle Trent Williams and Debo Samuel. So now that those guys are back, all of a sudden they're just absolutely destroying everybody again. Yeah, I'm back on it. They're back up there. 4 Ravens, 7-3. They blew that win against the Browns. Otherwise, this team would have been number 2 for me, honestly. If they would have pulled out that Browns win like they should have, being up 2 scores in the fourth quarter, they would have been number 2. But that's why they slid down to number 4. And number 5 is the team that the Ravens beat a couple weeks ago. That is your NFC North Detroit Lions coming in at 5. It just blows my mind that the Lions are this good, dude. It just blows my mind.
We have
Let's see
lots
your.
of differences in the top 5. Not lots, but
All right.
one completely different team and not the
Okay.
same order.
Let's hear
Uh,
it.
I have the Chiefs at 1.
Okay.
I
Because they have
again,
Mahomes.
yes,
Okay.
and because Mahomes and Kelsey and Mahomes with a good defense in the playoffs. Are you
An elite
serious?
defense.
Like
Yeah.
it just gives me Brady, Belichick, like Reed and Mahomes and Kelsey and an amazing defense, and it's just like I just don't like it. Well, I do. I mean, I like it if you're a Chiefs fan, but I don't like it. Eagles are 2. I mean, they just dominate people, so I guess you got to just give it to them, even though
Eight
I
and
don't
one
want to
without
more than
even.
anything.
I feel
They're
like
not
they haven't
even
even looked
playing
at it
good
yet.
half the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Number 3, I have the Baltimore Ravens. They did have a down week this week. I will give you that, but they have looked unbelievable prior to that this season. Very, very good. I think they have a style that can beat Kansas City. It's funny, Kansas City does not have a rival though, really. I would argue like at the beginning of the Patriots dynasty, right? You kind of had Peyton Manning and the Colts, and you also had Big Ben and the Steelers, who both of those teams were not quite on the same tier, but consistently in the playoffs over and over. We have not necessarily even seen that from anybody because the Bills can't beat them. They've made the playoffs over and over, but they can't beat them. Cincinnati can't stay consistent in a regular season to save their lives, but they can beat the Chiefs in the playoffs and have arguably been the kryptonite. And who's the other team I'm missing? I'm missing one other team. Baltimore. And I think that is another team that's been the team I was just talking about. The reason I was talking about it, Baltimore, that can compete with them as well. It'll be interesting to see if one of those teams can this year. 4 is the Miami Dolphins. That's a team that I have in that you don't. I believe in them. I truly do. I think they're going to be really, really good. And 5, the San Francisco 49ers. They are working their way back up. It was a good win for them, but also I just don't trust them without a lead. If they don't get a lead, it's sketchy. But also, when all the Avengers play, when Williams and Debo and McCaffrey play, they are a very different team.
Right. And so that's why I had to put them all the way up there because, power rankings, this means right now, today, right? So it's like they are healthy, they are playing. So to me, they should be back up there again in the mix because a couple weeks ago, before these guys got hurt and they started losing these games while they were hurt, everyone was like 49ers are clear. I mean, we said this on the pod. 49ers are clearly the best team in NFL.
Yep.
So that's why I had to put them in the top 3. It's crazy to me that you have the Dolphins over the Lions in top 5, given how awesome the Lions offenses looked. And also just the fact that my Dolphins were out of the top 5 for me because their 3 losses are to the good teams they finally faced, and their 6 wins are to shitty teams. So, like,
That's fair.
I haven't seen them beat a good team yet, and so that's why I feel like they're a little lower for me.
I don't trust the Lions. I don't like it. I just don't. I
What do you
just
mean you don't trust
as
the
a
Detroit Lions?
Vikings fan, I just have confidence in beating them. Like possibly
Right.
twice. Like I don't know, maybe I'm just wild and I have no idea what I'm talking about, but that's just the feeling I get from them. I mean they are in this list, but not high on this list.
Let's go. I'll go my second tier, which is the next 2 teams are in the same tier for me.
See,
Number 6 is the Cowboys. Absolutely throttled the Giants, kind of as expected, obviously, but they've been playing really well these last 3, 4 weeks. Dak finally looks like he has it again, I guess. Dak is good again. So
against
had to
bad
put them in
teams,
this
but
mix.
yes,
Yeah,
that can
against
beat
bad teams.
tomato cans.
And then obviously, here's where the Dolphins come in. They're still an elite team. I think they're just right outside of that top tier mix. So that's why I'm at tier 2, 7th on my power rankings.
Okay, I'll go to 7 as well, and I have 2 tiers in that as well, but a different 2. My tiers are Chiefs, Eagles, and Baltimore. I think that's one
Okay,
tier. Those are 3 teams I
that's fair.
completely trust and think can make deep playoff runs. My next tier is Miami, San Francisco, and both these 2 teams. I think that is tier 2 in the top 10. Miami, San Francisco at 6. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I have obviously been high on them, but Lawrence has not played that good. As much as I hate to admit it, as much as I picked him to win MVP, I understand what we're looking like right now. But they are 6-3, and Lawrence hasn't played good yet. Lawrence is going to play good. I have so much faith in that he's going to ball and figure it out at some point this year. And they're winning games when he's not playing good. That's just a recipe for something I like in Jacksonville. And number 7 is Dallas. They have beat the teams they're supposed to beat, other than Arizona. You got to give a team credit for absolutely blowing out bad teams. So Dallas is at 7. I think those 4 teams are my second tier.
That's crazy, bro. I don't know. I almost didn't even put Jacksonville in the top 10, to be honest. We're doing power rankings.
They're
We know
winning
this is right
games
now.
when their best player is not good. That means when their best player is inevitably good, which he's going to be, they're going to be unbelievable. Yes.
Is he? Is he though?
Man. Hardies and Hardos.
No, you're the one looking crazy. You have them at 6 after they just lost to a good team by 34 points.
Yeah, they've beaten good teams this year as well, though. Come on, let's be real here. They have good wins.
You know who they lost to and are behind on my power rankings?
No, come on. You're not going to put this
8, 9,
team
10.
ahead of them.
8, 9, and 10 for me. I have the Cleveland Browns coming in at number 8, 6-3. As we know, they just beat the Ravens this week. Talk about your point of their best player has never done anything. I mean, they have what, 0 production out of their quarterback this year, and they're 6-3 somehow. So
Myles Garrett
there's
might
the
be the
Brown.
MVP.
Myles Garrett is gonna win DPOY. He is an absolute freak of nature.
And he might be like the first defensive player really in the MVP conversation in a long time. If they are that good and Deshaun continues to play bad.
Exactly. Number 9 is exactly who you think I have in front of the Jags. And that is the Houston Texans, dog, coming in at number 9 on the rankings. Hey, man, here's the thing with the Texans. So I have to throw them in there, right? They beat the Jags by 20 points this year, 37-17, right? So I felt like I had to put them in front of the Jags because of that. And then the other team I was really considering for the end here, the Bengals. They just beat the Bengals. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't feel right putting the Bengals ahead of them when they quite literally just beat them. So I was like, damn, I guess I'm really putting the damn Texans in the top 10 after I thought they'd for sure be a bottom 3 team in the NFL this year. Absurd to me as of right now.
They have proved us wrong.
Right. And as of right now, Stroud is actually in the MVP conversation. I'd say he's maybe top 5. Like, he's getting there. Like, he's in that combo. And then obviously at 10, I have the Jags. Like you said, that same argument. Lawrence, he has 9 pass touchdowns and 10 turnovers. That's something you hate to see, but somehow, like you said, they're 6-3. So I felt like they still deserve to be on this list. What rounded out your order?
So this was tough for me. I did not want to leave the Seattle Seahawks off because
They're my first honorable mention.
Yeah, I did not want to, but I did. At 8, finally, I have to give them some credit. The Detroit Lions at 8. The Houston Texans at 9. And the team with the second longest win streak and the most longest current active win streak in the NFL.
No.
The Minnesota Vikings are cracking the top 10. Come on. How many games in a row do we have to win? Missing our quarterback and our best player and wide receiver on our team. And we're just winning games anyway. And the schedule's about to be soft.
Next 3 games, so easy.
And a bye in between. We get the bye after week 12, which is huge. If we're going 8-4 into our bye, like Broncos and Bears at Broncos, the Broncos have looked better, so that's going to be like a nip and tuck game.
That'll be a tough one.
But I think we could win it. And then Bears at home. If we don't win that,
we better win that one. Yeah,
that's our own fault. So if we go into 8-4, then it's our bye. Then we go Raiders, Bengals. Raiders should be winnable. Bengals, obviously a tough one. Even say we lose those 2 games, that puts us at 8-6. And then it's Lions, Packers, Lions. And then 3 divisional games. That decides our season. Packers might be out of it at that point where they don't even care about it.
They're going to be,
yeah. They're going to want to lose it. And 2 of the 3 of them are at home. We have to go to Detroit in week 17 or week 18. So that'll obviously be a huge game. But I just think we could be in contention at that point. When you win that many games in a row without your best players, I got to give you credit. So I know I'm a homer, but I would have said this anywhere in the country.
No, see, I totally debated them as well. I just felt more comfortable leaving them off than the Jags. That's what it really came down to me. So that's why I throw them on there. The Seahawks and the Vikes were my first 2 honorable mentions.
And then Cincinnati.
And then the Bengals right after that, yeah. So I thought, to me, the tier 3 was my 8 to 13th ranked teams. Like, all those guys I really debated putting in there. Just outside of that, your 14th-ish, 15th-ish ranked teams, I'm thinking Steelers. Talk about another team that has had 0 quarterback play, yet they're 6-3 somehow. And then this makes no sense. Can we roast these guys for a little bit, Spinny?
Sure.
Number 15, I know I didn't tell you to go all the way to 15, but I just wanted to, like, see and gauge where I would put this team. Buffalo Bills are my 15th ranked team in the power rankings right now. If you would have told me over halfway through the season the Bills wouldn't even be a top 10 team, I would have thought you were absurd. This is getting out of hand, Spinny. How many times do we have to sit here and talk about Josh Allen turning the ball over a zillion times, especially versus shitty teams?
That's why Ken Dorsey doesn't have his job as we speak.
Yeah, literally.
That's just tough. The read I get is Sean McDermott is too controlling of the whole thing and doesn't let his offensive coordinator be his offensive coordinator. Now we'll see with Joe Brady, see if he makes a difference and what's going on. But having an offensive coach in this league matters. And the time when Josh Allen has had his best is with Brian Daboll. So, like, if they don't figure this out, it's bye-bye Sean McDermott, hello offensive coach. Like that's just been the blueprint. You want to win? Offensive coach, good quarterback. Here you go. So I think Sean McDermott is feeling desperate right about now.
As he should. Literally as he should. Spinny, do you have any other thoughts about your power rankings, man? Otherwise, we can jump to the next segment, which
CJ Stroud might be more of an MVP candidate than Trevor Lawrence. Going into the season,
right now.
If you told me that, absolutely unbelievable as well. Huge credit to him. All right, now we can move on. Sorry, just had to shout out my guy.
We are going to now talk about what just started last week. College basketball is back. Spinny, let's go. We're just gonna have a general little discussion here. Try to preview the season a little bit. So, Spinny, let me throw the first question at you. I'm getting right down to it, man. Tell me a team you have the most faith in to make a deep tourney run. Not necessarily win it all. I'm not saying give me a winner, but a deep tourney run. Tell me one.
So Kansas has to be the first one. Most experience, most winning. I just trust the guys on their team. So they have to be one, but obviously they're the number one team in the country. So woohoo, going out on a limb. But another team is a team that if they have a good year for this team, if it's a good blank year, you're gonna like be mind blown when I say this. But if it is one of their good years, they always go on a deep tournament run. So I think there's at least a 50-50 shot it's a good UConn year. And if it is, then the deep tournament run is the thing that we should expect.
Feel like it's just automatically not going to be though, since they won the title last year. I just feel like
Yeah,
now
you're right.
it's just done. But no, I do like that logic, and they're obviously very well coached and still have the experience, still have some returners. They did lose some key players, obviously, like Jordan Hawkins, but
Yeah.
they still having that coach that's big time. That's really what you need. Like you said, cop out answer is Kansas, but like wow, you got three guys on the preseason Wooden Award watch, top 50 in the country, three of them on the same
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
Jawan Harris, sorry, point guard. He was on the national title team a couple years ago. He's still there. Kevin McCullough, they got transferred from Texas Tech, and they also got Hunter Dickinson transferred from Michigan. I mean, this team is absolutely loaded. And then you pair him with the coach, like we were just saying, Bill Self. Many deep runs, many national titles. They just will know how to play in the tournament. That's for sure. Another team, though, since I don't really want to take the cop out answer here with Kansas, this one really pains me to say, and that is Arkansas because that's an SEC rival here of my Kentucky Wildcats.
Ooh.
Spinny, man. This Arkansas team has made the Sweet 16 3 straight years, dog. 3 straight years the Razorbacks have been the final 16 teams in the country. They returned 2 double-digit scores from last year, and they also have a top 5 transfer class as well as a top 10 recruiting class coming in. So lots of incoming talent as well as
How
those
does
key
Arkansas
returners.
get a top 10 recruiting class? That's wild to me.
That's actually 2 years in a row because last year they had Anthony Black and Nick Smith, who were both top
Yeah.
10 recruits in their grade. So um, it's wild to say, and I hate shouting out a different SEC school, but that's a team that always seems
Yeah.
to make noise in the tournament.
That's crazy.
All right, another one for you. Opposite. Well, not really opposite, but who's a team that's not ranked right now that we should look out for? That might make
Gosh.
noise in the tournament, might be ranked eventually. Give me one.
Shouting out old Gopher for the coach of this team, the
Oh, don't do
New
it,
Mexico with
bro.
Richard Pitino. Yeah, it's tough. Jalen House, Jamal Mashburn Jr., a couple of ballers on their team. I think that when you have two really good ball handling scores like that, you can always make a deep tournament run. And
Facts.
they are a team that could do it. I like them. I also like get so much like 12, 11 seed vibes from them, and then winning like
Right.
3
They always seem,
games like is
yeah.
classic. So I could definitely see that going on.
New Mexico, I swear, always makes it as a 12 seed and then always wins over the 5 seed. I swear. Like that just
Literally
always
every time.
happens.
Just a
Yeah.
thing.
Talk about a team that's usually a 12 seed and upsets. Let's go San Diego State. That's my team here.
Mm-hmm.
Last year they were a 5 seed, actually, I believe. But as we know, they made it all the way to the title game and lost. They got to be the team. They're not ranked right now, but to have the experience they have a couple key returners coming back. And the way they just play a tough physical brand of basketball. They're going to get up in you. They're going to play very good defense, and they have a lot of shot makers, a lot of guys that can hit difficult shots, especially threes. So as we know, the recipe for success in the tourney usually is good defense and then good shot making. So San Diego checks both of those, and then you pair that with the experience that they always have, I should say. San Diego State, that's a team we should definitely watch out for. And it surprises me actually that they're not even ranked to start the season.
like that. It's time for me
Players.
to ask you a question. Oh, you're gonna go
Oh,
players first.
you
I
asked
kind of
me.
want to jump in and ask you a question.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Kentucky. Talk to me about the boys, and give me a season outlook, and then give me make or break. What's the one thing, one player, one thing, whatever, that is going to make or break the season?
I'm just like getting nervous just thinking about this season for Kentucky. I don't know why, but it just seems like there's so much on the line this year. There's been so much talk these last couple of years about Calipari and can he still get it done? Um, he might be on his last chance here potentially, especially considering the fact that we have the number one recruiting class coming in. We're kind of getting back to old Calipari ways where we're going to have a very freshman loaded lineup rotation, I should say. Um, so that'll be the biggest thing. So Calipari is literally the make or break to me. How he coaches, how he's able to get these guys motivated, how he subs and rotates, and everything coaching wise. Calipari is the biggest make or break for Kentucky season this year. Antonio Reeves, that's a key returner for us. I kind of had a love hate relationship with him over this past year because this is a dude that can light it up from deep. There's also times where it's pretty bad and he can go 0 for 10. So kind of a love hate relationship with him, but it's awesome to get a really good 3-point shooter back. You always love seeing that. And then we have 4 top 15 recruits coming in: Justin Edwards, Aaron Bradshaw, Rob Dillingham, and my personal favorite, DJ Wagner. Um, Other than Calipari, I would put DJ Wagner right there. DJ Wagner needs to play like the best player on our team. I feel like personally, I know Dillingham's been kind of taking that role so far to start this season, only a couple games in, obviously. But I think DJ Wagner, that's another key piece. He needs the ball out, and hopefully we can get going here. I think Tennessee, Arkansas, like I mentioned already, and then Alabama will be our biggest competition in the SEC. But I am just as confident in Kentucky this year as I have been in past years. So I think things are looking up for this season.
I like
Shout
it.
out you, man. You asking me about Kentucky. Let's go.
Yeah, got to do it.
We play tonight, man. We play tonight. Recording this on Tuesday night, right before the Champions Classic. We got Duke squaring off against Michigan State right now. We'll see. This is where we'll see what this freshman team of Kentucky Wildcats is made of, because we have to face the Kansas Jayhawks tonight. So a little worried about that, but we'll see how it goes.
Like it.
Well, Spinny, man, I might as well just ask you. You tell me about your Nova squad, man. What do you think? What are your expectations? I did see they were preseason ranked, but they already dropped a game. I don't know. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, I mean, they did drop a game to Penn last night, so
Penn,
that obviously
like
isn't.
like
Yeah,
the like the like the
yeah,
nerdy school
yep,
Penn.
yep, yeah. So definitely not good. Did not have a good recruiting class this year. Um, not even in the top 50 in the country. So again, that's kind of Nova's thing. It comes in all shapes and sizes. Mikhail Bridges, 3-star recruit. Lots of Colin Glipsy, Dante DiVincenzo, 3-star, 3-star, 3-star. So lots of good and potentially NBA talent players that were not high on the recruiting class list. But can Kyle Neptune coach? I don't know. There's been lots
Right.
of that's the make or break. Like, can Kyle Neptune coach? Because Jay Wright could coach, and they always played unbelievably sound. And I haven't seen that from Kyle Neptune, which is fine. But you got to find your style and be good at something. Be great at something.
Right.
Jay Wright was great at being disciplined and high effort and shooting threes and not making mistakes. I haven't seen what Kyle's Neptune's thing is. They have good players. Justin Moore is back. Missed all season last season. He's been on the team for is it his 5th year? This might be his 5th year. Yeah, this is his 5th year. So 3 full years as a starter. Has averaged 11, 12, 14, and 13 in his previous 4 years, but obviously that wasn't as the main guy. He played in 2019, so played with a lot of those guys from the last 20 team. He's going to be the best player, taking a lot of the shots this year, so hopefully he can lead us farther than we'd like to go. But that's kind of what it is. The rest of the guys are all kind of a wait and see. TJ Bamba, Tyler Burton, Eric Dixon's still there. Will obviously have his impact, but it's a whole new roster this year, so it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Probably should be a whole new roster too. Didn't y'all lose like 15 games last year or something? Unreal.
Yeah. Too
Yeah.
many.
Too many. How long of a leash do you think Neptune gets? I mean, that was his first year last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was his first year.
He's got to have at least 2 more years for sure, right?
Yeah, you're probably getting 4 years.
Right.
And that's staying the same. Like if he's slowly getting better, he'll get more time. Obviously, I think.
Right.
But yeah.
All right. Interesting season though.
Not necessarily
interesting season. It might be an interesting one for y'all, especially with how good the Big East is looking this year.
Exactly.
Just like it did last year too. All right. My last real question for you here. Tell me a player, man, that you're looking forward to watching this year.
I got a shout out a Gopher on this one. We haven't brought them up too much. A Gopher.
You're gonna actually watch the Gophers?
I might actually watch them. I don't think they'll be as bad as they were.
You better be talking Dawson.
Dawson Garcia, baby, yes. Last year, averaged 15 and 7, essentially 35% from 3, 45% from the field, and I think he could be even better than that going into this year, and I think he could be a guy that at least makes Gopher basketball fun to watch. And potentially 500? I don't know. I would just like anything better than last year. I mean, we were losing to St. Thomas last year, I feel like. So anything better than that would be awesome.
No, I'm totally with you, man. I do like watching Dawson Garcia. I'm glad he came home. Because screw the Tar Heels and Marquette, I think. Those were his 2 first stops.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though he might actually be regretting the Marquette thing now that they're, top 5 for sure, top 10 team in the country this year to start the season. I'm going to shout out a guy who was at a mid-major, who we watched ball out in the tournament. Max Abmas. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. This is a guard from Oral Roberts, as we all remember last year in the tournament, balling out. He was one of the leading scorers in the entire country last year, believe it or not. 22 points per game. That's not all he does. He has 4 boards and 4 assists per game as well. So pretty solid all-around numbers, especially at the point guard position. This guy transferred to Texas now, Spinny. That's why I'm really, really interested in watching this guy, see how he balls out at a high major school. He'll be in the Big 12 now rather than Summit League that he was with Oral Roberts. So see how that transfers over. But typically, when you get buckets, you're going to be able to get buckets anywhere. That's usually how that goes. He was playing higher level competition in tournament and scoring just fine. So I don't think there'll be an issue there. And he's still going to flirt with 20 points per game, I think, honestly. So Max, shout out you, man. Even though I hate the Longhorns, I hope you ball out.
Yes, sir.
All right, Spanish. Should we shout out our predictions for our winners of these conferences?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We're going to just pick the Power 6 conferences here, obviously. Take too long to run through all 32 Division I conferences. Let's start with the Big Ten. I'm going Purdue, the highest-ranked team right now. That's not why I picked them. It's because they have Zach Edey on their team. So,
I literally wrote down Zach Edey for the answer to this.
We know they're going to eat in the regular season. Purdue always does.
Agreed.
Let's go Big 12. Kansas. I just
KU.
Right. I know it pains you to say that, but we know it's coming.
Yeah.
What, like 12 years in a row or something absurd? Like they're adding to that. That's for damn sure.
Just unbelievable.
SEC. This is a question just for you because everyone in the world knows who I'm picking.
Tennessee.
Tennessee, dog?
Yeah, Tennessee.
Are you kidding me? My least favorite SEC school, you couldn't have picked Arkansas?
No, Tennessee.
Oh, my gosh. That's so nasty.
So you're picking Arkansas?
Oh, I'm picking Kentucky. Come on, man.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Didn't know, but now I do.
Of course I'm rocking the squad. Big East. Now, this is where you better take your squad.
No, I'm not taking my squad. I'm taking Marquette. Wow. I think Marquette's gonna do it this year.
Tyler Kolek, he's back. The
Yeah.
shooter, he's back.
Yeah.
I actually did pick them originally, but I switched it right before we started recording.
UConn?
Nope.
What? You picked the choke artists? The choke artists from Omaha? That's what you picked?
I picked the Creighton Blue Jays.
Oh,
Come on.
man.
Here's why. I think they have the best player in the conference in Ryan Kalkbrenner. He's a stud big. I think he's the best player in the conference, so that's why I went them. I wanted to pick a little different because basically, other than Kentucky, I guess, I was only picking the teams that are currently the highest ranked team. So I felt like I needed
Yeah.
to switch it up a little bit.
That's fair.
Pac-12.
Yep.
I'm going back to recipe picking the highest ranked team. I'm going Arizona. We saw them beat Duke already. This is a experienced squad. I think they're going to get it done in the Pac-12.
Arizona's a good regular season team as well, so I
Right.
expect them to definitely win it.
Okay. And then ACC. I hate shouting out this team, but their team is loaded this year.
But they're losing.
I gotta go.
They're losing to Miami. Miami's winning this conference.
You're picking Miami?
Miami. They lost Isaiah Wong, obviously, but they still got two really good guards that I think will run their offense, and guard play can win. So that's what we're confident in.
That it can. As we jump segments here, though, I do want to shout out Duke is leading Michigan State 58-52 with 5 minutes left in the game. So coming down to the wire in that ranked matchup here.
Shout out the biggest Duke fan we know for not watching that game, Brett, right now, because I know you're not watching.
All of our Duke fans that are friends of ours, that's what they are, Duke fans.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to all you big Duke fans.
All right, now we're going to switch gears. Basketball still, though, but now we're going to talk professional. Let's do NBA. We're going to have a little discussion here as the season's, 2 to 3 weeks into the season here.
Yep.
We're going to talk too soon or not, okay? So we're going to throw statements back at each other and determine if we think it's too soon to say that or not.
Houston Rockets are a serious playoff contender.
Bro, I literally have that written down as well as one of mine. I'm gonna say too soon to that though.
Okay.
Like I said on our preseason episode, I can't trust Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet being like high level like guys coming in. Like these guys shoot 40% from the field, and yes, they're playing well so far. But I'm gonna say too soon on that, just because I'm still not really trusting the personnel they have.
Okay, that's fair.
How about you? What do you think?
I think Ime is a good coach, but true playoff contender, a little too soon. Again, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet, not one of them has ever flirted with 45% from the field, so that kind of makes me nervous.
Yeah, exactly. Wolves. The Timberwolves are a legit title contender.
You're going to make me say this in front of everyone.
Too
soon. I think they're a legit top 3 seed contender. I think that they are legit make the playoffs, win a round or two. But, like, serious title contenders, like, do I think they can make the Western Conference Finals? I don't know about that yet.
What would be your reasoning?
My reasoning would be consistency and health, which I know health is a classic cop-out for any team. But also, like, I just want to see this for longer than 10 games because I want to see Cat be okay being the number 2 and how that goes for multiple weeks and just the egos involved with that. I want to see Rudy looking healthy and playing like he is and, like, bought in and, like, he looks like he looks like 3 years ago in Utah, Rudy. He didn't even look this good his last year in Utah. So I just want to see that for longer. And Chris Finch. Is Chris Finch a good coach? I don't know if we know that
either. Yeah. I'm with you, though. I'm going to go too soon. It's exactly what you said for that consistency piece. As we know, MN sports are cursed. So can we keep it up for the whole season? Exactly. Can we actually make the run in the playoffs? This, to me, might be, as much as I'm going to cheer for them and as much as I'm going to internally think, they could be a title contender. It's one of those things where I almost won't even believe it till I see it, type deal. Just because
Yeah.
we know the history of the Minnesota Timberwolves. So
Yeah. Okay, my turn. Is Philly the best team in the league? Philly's the best team in the league.
I'm gonna go too soon. Um, Similar to the Timberwolves thing, I want to see it for more than 10 games. As teams get more used to playing them, get more film on them, they'll be able to scout better and be more prepared for their games now that they don't have James Harden and Tyrese is running the show from point guard. So I'm gonna say too soon on that. But we are actually nearing that point, which is crazy to say because I did not see that coming really. So I thought for sure, Nuggets, Celtics, even throw the Bucks in the mix. I thought for sure those three teams at any point this season I could definitively say are better than the Sixers, but right now it's not looking like that.
Agreed. Agreed. I am gonna say too soon because I want to see Tyrese, especially like, is this step going to be consistent for the whole, at least
Right.
20 to 40 games? But having Nick Nurse is huge. Best coach Joel Embiid's ever had in his career, and a legitimate good coach on the NBA level. So I like that from Joel. I like that for Joel. Sorry.
I'm throwing another Sixers one at you then. Little different. You said best team in the league right now, right? Are the Sixers a more legit title contender now without Harden?
Not too soon. The farthest from too soon. 100% more legit title contender without Harden.
Yes, completely.
Especially because they have a move to make still. You know, all the East teams, Milwaukee and Boston, have made their moves. They kind of are what they are, other than like buyout signings and stuff, if they're not over the supermax cap. But Philly still has a trade move to make.
Philly got those extra first. They still have some of their own first. They got these vets they can throw in with expiring deals. Teams like that when they're trying to unload assets. So I'm with you. It's not too soon to say that. As we know, Harden is the Harden experiment's kind of been a failure everywhere he's gone. So the fact that he's out of there just automatically boosts where they're at in my eyes. You got another one?
I thought it was you. Sorry. My last one. Golden State is a play-in team.
So like
7 through 10. That's where they finished the regular season.
I'm gonna go too soon. I think I do kind of like Chris Paul and their team. I think it gives them something a little different. As we've said on this pod, the not turning the ball over 1,000 times like a Jordan Poole led second unit would. That's always good for the Warriors. That was their biggest issue, like you always have pointed out on this pod. So I'm gonna say too soon on that. They still have Steph Curry, who's playing like he's still in his prime somehow at 35 years old. They still have these other vets that have all this experience. Yeah. So I'm gonna say too soon. I still think they're top 6.
Steph just has been the only one that's looked good. Draymond looks slower.
No, you're right. You're totally right.
Bro, I just worry about
Wiggins has been atrocious.
Yeah, Wiggins has been atrocious. Paul's been good, but you're not looking for much in the regular season on him.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. All right, I'm gonna go back to James Harden once again. The James Harden experiment with the Clippers is a failure.
Not too soon, but like.
But we're there, right?
We're close. Yeah. Damn close.
It's only been like 4 games or 5 games.
Oh, they look
close, bro.
They're taking Russ out and putting him in, and then Harden's airballing a 3, and then Russ is getting pissed. It's just like, what are we doing?
And he's out of shape, dude. Like you weren't playing for how long? You're doing all this shit. The least you could do is come in ready to play. You could just tell that he's out of shape out there, dude. He's not ready.
No.
I'm with you. It's not too soon, but I mean it is too soon, but barely. Like I'm ready to call it a failure.
Like next week's pod, it might be a failure.
It might
Literally.
already be a failure with 3/4 of the season left by next week. Seriously.
Yeah.
All right, I got another one for you.
All right.
Let's go back to the Wolves. Ant is a top 10 player in the entire league this season.
Not too soon. Ant's a superstar. I'm ready. He's a fringe top 10, but he is a superstar. And I think at the most there's like 12 of those. At the
Right.
most. I think sometimes there's 8 or 6. So I definitely think that Ant is in that. I'm not too soon at all.
I'm totally with you. No need to even repeat anything you said. Totally with you. Last one. Let's go a statistical one here. Luka Doncic, your current leader in points per game, will finish the season as your scoring champion.
Not too soon. I think it's
You think he keeps
completely
it up?
reasonable that he could do that. And I think that he is one of the 2 or 3 guys in the front running for that or for
Right.
that title. So
I'm gonna say too soon, but just barely. Embiid will be in the mix again, just like he was last year.
yep.
Giannis, Curry, all these guys will be in the mix once again. The biggest reason, though, I'm going to say too soon for right now is because of Kyrie Irving. Kyrie hasn't. He's kind of taken the back seat a little bit. Now, the other day
Yeah.
they both had 35 plus points or whatever it was. But Kyrie hasn't really been shooting the ball. He's been more facilitating. I think that will slowly change throughout the season, and you'll see Luka's numbers maybe dip 2-3 points per game as Kyrie's rises 3-4 points per game. Because Kyrie right now is only at about 20 a game right now.
Yeah.
And you would imagine might be up to 25.
Yeah. I like that. I like that argument. That makes sense. You might have convinced me on that one.
So there it is, y'all. Let us know what you thought about our NBA too soons. Maybe even drop some to us too, if you guys have
Yeah.
any out there. We'll let you know what we think if it's too soon or not.
We'll answer them next week if you drop them.
Yes, facts. All right, Spinny, let's close it off. Chris Carter episode. Talking NFL once again. Let's do it. Week 11 picks. That's what we're going to do. Round of this episode, week 11 picks. Let's update it since it's been 2 weeks. We did, in fact, make our picks last week. We just text them to each other. We did that again. Yeah. 2 weeks ago we did it because we still haven't seen you to recap that. And then this past week we did it as well. So Spinny, after these past 2 weeks, has a 2-game lead on me still. He made it up to 4, actually. Going into this past week, he was up 4, but I made up 2 this past week. Spinny, you are 78 and 50. I am 76 and 52 heading into week 11.
Still holding on. Been the leader. Keeping it up. Whole season. We're going wire to wire leading.
All right, here we go. Week 11. Finally a good Thursday night football game. Your Bengals visit the Ravens. 3.5-point favorite for the Ravens. Ravens get back on track. Ravens win this game.
Ravens.
5-5 Bengals. Oof. Another AFC North battle here. The Steelers visit the Browns. 3.5-point favorites for the Browns. I'm taking the home team once again. I'm going Browns.
Yeah, taking Browns. I can't imagine watching what I'm about to watch with
it's gonna be brutal.
Kenny Pickett at the Browns defense. Just run against. It's just gonna. This game could legitimately be like 11-5 or some stupid.
Literally,
like that.
It's gonna be terrible. So, it's gonna be a terrible game.
11-9.
Cardinals at Texans. 4-point favorites for the Texans. Yeah, Kyler looked pretty good. Led them to the win this past week, but yeah, I'm going Texans. Titans at Jags. A lot of divisional matchups this week in the NFL. 6.5-point favorites for the Jags. I think Jags bounce back after that beatdown this past week, and Titans look all but done, honestly.
Yeah, Titans look done, and Jags are in. It's more about learning how good Will Levis is at this point.
Right, for sure. Your squad. I mean, this one might be tough for you because you like both of these teams. Raiders visit the Dolphins. All right, this number seems absurd to me. 12-point favorites for the Dolphins? That seems crazy to me. I'm rocking the Dolphins at home, but you're not going to say the Raiders.
No, we're not picking the Raiders. Not today. Come on. It's I just put these boys 4th best team in the league. They can't lose at home to the Raiders. Come on.
You think that line's fine though? At 12?
It seems wild, yeah. I mean, if I'm betting and taking the line, I'm betting the Raiders.
Right.
Especially if I can parlay it with something and get it up over 14, then yeah.
Yeah. Cowboys at Panthers. I'm not even going to take time to talk about this. The Cowboys.
Nope. We're not talking about this next one either.
Oh, God. Now I see it. Bears at Lions. We're obviously both taking the Lions.
Yep.
Chargers at Packers. Chargers 3-point favorites here. This one is really tough, actually, because
It's a trap.
I've been totally turned off by the Packers all year. I just think Jordan Love is garbage. But this is such a trap game for the Chargers, like you just said. So
I'm going to take the Chargers, though.
I thought you were going to go Packers, man. I'm taking the Chargers, too.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
all
what
right.
I wanted to do.
All right.
All right, we're going Chargers, both of us.
Yep.
Another divisional matchup, Giants at Commanders. I don't trust Tommy DeVito in any world whatsoever, so I'm going Commanders.
Sam Howell might be legit.
He might be. Weird.
Or it's just
Bucks. Yeah, could be. Bucks at Niners, 11.5-point favorites for the Niners. Niners keep that shit rolling. They're winning.
Yep.
Man, do we have any differences yet? Dang it, I'm supposed to make 2 up on you.
No, I don't think we're gonna have any differences other than potentially the Monday night game.
All right. Well, here's one where I don't trust the line. Again, Jets at Bills, 7-point favorites for the Bills. That's not. It's too high. I don't like that at all. I'm going
beat
Bills,
the bad
though.
teams, though. Yeah,
yes.
We're picking the Bills.
Do they though? Because they just lost to the Broncos.
True, but maybe the Broncos are better than we think.
What you should have said, though, is the Bills don't lose back-to-back games against shitty
True.
teams. They usually bounce back after an L, so that's why I'm going Bills here. Seahawks at Rams. 1-point favorite for the road Seahawks. So,
Hawks.
I'm going Hawks. So am I. This one stumped me, though. I didn't like that line. Only being 1. You would think it'd be higher because Stafford might not even play, and it's like, who the hell is their quarterback type deal? But I don't know. I don't get good vibes from Seahawks this year, man. Geno has not looked good at all.
No, but they win games.
They do. I mean, 6-3. So I'm gonna stick with them. Sunday Night Football. Do we need to talk about it? We're both being homers, are we not?
Are we?
I'm taking the Vikings over the Broncos. We keep that shit rolling, man. We're 7-4. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll take the Vikes.
Let's go.
So we are the same now. We have the same picks.
I know.
Going in to this game here.
The Kelsey Bowl. Back
Kelsey
at
Bowl.
it. Yep, Super Bowl championship rematch. The Eagles travel to face the Chiefs, who are 2.5-point favorites at home. I'm going the team. What'd you say?
Chiefs not losing this game.
No, you're supposed to pick the Eagles.
You're picking the Eagles. I ain't picking those bums.
I'm picking the Chiefs.
I ain't picking those bum Eagles.
I wanted to pick the team.
Not at Patrick Mahomes' place. Come on.
That's what I'm saying. I wanted to pick the team with Patrick Mahomes on their team.
Not at Burrowhead. Come on.
You know what? We need to switch it up, dude. I swear to God, we just had every single game was the same pick. I guess I'm rocking my boy Jalen Hurts. Come on. I'm going.
Okay.
Let's go, baby. Okay. I'm not even scared. Let's go. 9-1 Eagles. Let's go. Jalen Hurts going nuts.
Ooh. Bama and Philly. There it is. That is our week 11 picks. Hardies and Hardos. That's Chris Cotta episode. We thank you for listening. Do you have any Q&A, Bus, or should we let them out early today?
I think we let them out early today.
Let's let them out early today. Thanks, y'all.